What's going on, everybody? What's up? What's up, C3 Squad? Uh, hope y'all are doing fantastic tonight. Wanted to do this live, this last minute live, because I had something to celebrate that I wanted to share with all of you. And it's a pretty big accomplishment. Um, and it's something that it's kind of has been in the works for a long time, actually. At this point, it's going on like 12 years in the making, for this project that I put together. And for those of you that know me really well, you know that music has been a passion of mine. It's you could say it was my first love before tech, before business and finance and things of that nature. Was really music. It's something that I grew up with. Something that I can remember just waiting to get home from school and listening to the local radio stations to hear the mixes. And once I figured out how to set up and record the radio shows for the day, so I could hear the latest new songs and new drops, and making mixtapes when they were actually tapes before they were CDs. But it's always been something that I've loved. It's always been something that I've been passionate about doing. And when I got into college, I kind of really fell in love with it. I got a chance to really kind of get in the studio, be around a record label, see the process of just making music and writing songs and putting things together. And so it's stuck with me ever since, right? It's always been something I wanted to do. So I put out a project on Spotify. It's called the Devin James Experience. You can check it out. It's on all the major streaming platforms, but Spotify is the one that I rock with the most. And just recently, we hit a million streams of the Devin James Experience on Spotify, and it's crazy. Something that when I put it together, with my producer, I said, like, this is a bucket list project. I just want to say that it's done, that I did it, and never expected it to kind of take off the way that it did, and I'm super thankful that it did. So I wanted to share that with you guys. This is nice little plaque that I got there to commemorate hitting the million streams on Spotify. And so I wanted to share this live with y'all, and really kind of use this to talk about a couple of different things. And yes, I'm gonna sit just like this, holding it the entire time. Let me move this down so I can see the whole thing. You know what I mean? So perseverance. And it's been a topic that I've addressed a couple of times in the last couple of weeks, right? Just talking about how, a lot of times in movies, right, there's always the cutscene, right, where they're training to do something, or they're getting ready to, train for the big fight, or they're getting ready to like build a business, come up to the climax, and it's always a montage, right? And it's sped up, it's sped through. Although, like in the movie, you get the point that it's hard work, you don't really see it. They speed it up. And of course, because it's a movie, you understand why. But the thing that's interesting is that I think sometimes in life, we want to do that same thing, and we don't give enough detail and credit to the actual process, putting in the work and what it takes to get to the successes, right? It's not like in the movies where it's a little 2-minute montage and all of a sudden you're champion of the world. Sometimes that 2 minutes is really 4 months or 6 months or 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, right? And I think in our, win now society, get everything now society, we tend to overlook that and forget that. We want to skip past all that and just kind of get straight to the end. We want to, get to the million, right? But to get to the million, you got to go through the process to get to one. Before you get to one, you got to go through the process of what it takes to put something together, right? And it's it's really in that process that you find the most joy and that you enjoy it the most. Um, I've had a couple of people, more than a couple of people, ask me since started talking about this, and I kind of posted on Instagram and was on Facebook and things like that. Everybody's asking me like, "Oh my God, like 1 million streams, that's huge. Like, how do you feel?" And I don't. It was hard for me to really say like I don't feel that different, right? It was just like, okay, cool. Like it's 1 million streams. Like we did it. We did it, Joe. We made it. And actually, it wasn't until I like had unboxed this for the first time and really took a look at it that it kind of started to, kind of sink in for me. What this really means. I mean, 1 million streams, right? That's a lot. But I was really, it more so made me reflect, like I said, on the process of what it's been like, wanting to get this project out. Like I said, it's been 12 years in the making. The first song that I wrote that's on this project, I wrote it over, 12 years ago. And I wrote it, literally, I was coming out of grocery store, and the verse just kind of popped in my head, and I was like, oh man, I think I like this. Yeah, let me see if I can keep rocking with something like this. And it built itself from there. But the rest of the songs kind of came over time. Most of the songs in the project were written, in the same right around the same time we started the project. But it was always kind of like start and stop with it. It was, I would find a couple of songs, I would maybe work with the producer here, I would find this there, and things would never quite kind of come together. I couldn't get the sound that I wanted. The production quite wasn't really where it was at. And it just took, time and understanding and grinding through it till I finally got to, the right person to link with, Legacy City over Street Legend. Somebody that, understood what, my passion for music, what we were trying to do, what he was trying to do, what I was trying to do, and it linked. And especially with music, and I can't say this with everything else, but with music specifically, that connection's got to be there. Because I feel like music really it writes itself. The songs write themselves. Like you hear it when the melody kicks in, when the beat drops, when the bass line comes in, or that snare hits. Like it just starts to write itself. And if you don't have that connection, that flow, it won't. You start to force it. So, I really wanted to take this time to, first of all, share this with everybody. Like, boom, 1 million streams. C3 Squad Hotline. The C3 podcast is next, right? We just crossed over 1,000 downloads for the C3 podcast earlier this year. So next up, we're gonna push this to 1 million, right? Got to get to 10K first, but just keep pushing. And I'm just gonna really enjoy that process. I've really enjoyed kind of moving into this realm of content creation and creating this podcast, doing these YouTube videos, streaming live, and just continuing to look at different things and get better. And continue to have conversations, but really starting to embrace what it is. The grind that's in it, the process that's in it, what it takes, the little things, learning how to use things like Restream and OBS, putting, videos out there and not having anybody view it, understanding what it takes to write the descriptions. Okay, now you got to come up with screenshots. And then it's like, what's the process of putting together a show for a podcast? Like the questions you want to ask, all these little details, and just working and tweaking. It's that process. And whatever you're working on, whatever you're going to, like, enjoy the process, dig into the process, because that's what's going to make the success that much sweeter. And you're really going to look back on the process more so than you're going to look back on the accomplishment that you got. Like, it'll just seem like, okay, I got it. I made it. I did this thing that I've been working for. And now it's kind of on to the next. So that's really it. This was going to be short. I did also want to announce, as you can see on there, the C3 Squad Hotline. So everybody that watches and listens to the C3 podcast, rolling this out, the C3 Squad Hotline, you can hit me up anytime, 909-487-8741. When you listen to the podcast on demand, when you're watching it live stream, text into the hotline. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you like about the podcast. You can, text with me, and I can, kind of give you some behind the scenes of what's going on with On the Corner Media. As we are going through a big transition, as we look to build out the platform that we've envisioned with On the Corner Media. And so with that, actually, I'm gonna take a little time. I'm gonna give a shout out I'm gonna put the plaque up right here so y'all can see it in the background. And you're probably asking, like, yo, Dave, why don't you hang it up? Matter of fact, look, we're gonna do this right there. Boom. Look at that. So I want to take this time to talk a little bit about On the Corner Media and give you guys a little hint as to what's coming and what the vision of this media company was. So On the Corner Media Group starts out as a podcast network, right? So that it does host the C3 podcast. There's also the All Mixed Up podcast on all streaming platforms. You can check that out. But it really kind of came together with a group of us saying that we needed to make sure that that Black and Brown stories were told from the Black and Brown point of view. And so we wanted to create a company and a platform where we could elevate those voices, visually represent those voices so people could see and hear from people that look like them and relate to them, their kind of stories. But it's not just for, people of color, it's for everybody. But, who better to tell your story than you? Right? Who better to hear your story from than somebody who relates to you? And so that's really what we wanted to do. And so we launched it last summer. It's been a journey, obviously, kind of putting all of this together, but it's definitely been fun. I've been loving the feedback that I've been getting from, the C3 podcast. Want to continue to pick that up. These live shows, want to continue to pick these up and do a lot more live things. But we're working on a lot more curated content. We're working on an all-around experience for everybody. And that's going to be launching kind of later this year, right? I don't want to give away too many secrets yet. But hey, look, hit it up on the C3 Squad Hotline, 909-478-741. I'll give you a little bit more. I can give you a little bit more if you're on the C3 Squad Hotline. I can give you some behind the scenes to kind of tell you what we got planned and what's going on. But I'm really, really excited about what we're building there and how we're going to be able to bring this to the world. So, and again, going back to that process, that grind, like understanding, like we're in the very beginning, learning so many things, right? And just being patient and diligent in the process that we're doing, but making sure that each step that we're taking is measured, right? And it's thought out, not thought out to the point that we know all the answers, but at least thought out to execution so we can look and see what's working, what's not working. So, really excited about that. You guys are going to be seeing so much more stuff coming out from that. So if you haven't already, hit up the website, www.onthecorner.us. Sign on to the mailing list so you can get the updates and hear what's going on, because we definitely want to hear from you, because we're building this platform for you. If you're a person of color, Black or brown, it's specifically for you. And if you're not, it's okay. It's for you to learn and engage as well, and ask questions and really just connect, right? The point of this media platform is to present these stories, not to show how much we're different, but to show how much we're alike. And you can't really do that until you can empathize with somebody. And to empathize, you got to understand where they're coming from, right? So really looking forward to that. And got some other things coming too. I'm gonna hold those a little bit closer because we're gonna build some content around there, but some other surprises. But it's been I can't believe it's March already. It's been a great start to the year, and I'm really excited about some of the things we're doing. One of the things I do also want to drop is what's going on. So from the event standpoint, I got some speaking things coming up. So this Career Upgrade Summit, this one's coming up super soon. It's March 17th. And I'm super excited about this. I'm thankful to Belinda and Oma for asking me to speak and accepting me to speak. So I'm humbled and honored to be able to speak at this. But this is geared towards people who are really kind of looking to get into the cybersecurity arena, but really, honestly, any part of your career, right? It's the Career Upgrade Summit, right? So please go check this out. Register, sign up. I'll be doing a fireside chat just talking about making the leap from individual contributor leader, right? Talking about one of the things, my story is I've kind of made that jump from an individual contributor leader, but some of the things I've learned about that process and things that you need to, if you're looking at that and you're saying, hey, look, one day I want to be a manager, I want to do these things, some of the skills and things that you're going to need to develop. So super excited about this. So March 17th, virtual event, Career Upgrade Summit. Make sure to go sign up for that. And then for people that know, if you know, Identiverse, man, like this is it. Like this is the identity conference. Super excited about this. I'm gonna have more details coming up on the page. You can always follow me, iamdavidlee.com/events to find out where I'm speaking, what's going on. But I'm always super excited about Identiverse because I love going and hanging out with Identity Nerds. It was all virtual last year. They're doing a mix this year, right? Back in Denver, mix of virtual, mix in person. I'm leaning towards being there in person. I'm hoping that things continue to get better in the U.S. as we start to work with these vaccinations and start to slow the spread. Of course, we still need to be safe, socially distanced, mask, all that good stuff. Unless, of course, you're in Texas, not going to go there. No, you need to be worried, especially if you're in Texas. But Identiverse, I got 2 sessions at Identiverse. Really, really excited about this. I'm going to put some more details up on the page as they kind of come out. Right now, I just know that my sessions were accepted. I'll probably put the abstracts up on here, but I don't know the times and dates yet. But super excited about that. So, look, everybody, that's really it. This is going to be a really short live. I didn't want to do anything super crazy. Like I said, I just wanted to share this with you guys, man. The 1 million streams on Spotify. I'm so thankful. So everybody that's listened to the project, thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of those streams. If you're watching this on my YouTube page and you're like, man, I didn't even know you did anything like that. Well, now you know. Check it out, the Devin James Experience on Spotify, on all streaming platforms. I mean, Spotify, Pandora, Google Music, Tidal, you name it, it's out there. Check it out. Give it a listen. Let me know what you think. You can hit me up on the C3 Squad Hotline, 909-487-8741. Text me. Be like, yo, Dave, love the project, or man, that really sucks. Whatever you feel, like it is what it is, right? So appreciate y'all. Million reasons to be thankful, to be grateful, and continue to focus on the positive. Continue to focus on the grind, right? Continue to work your process wherever you're at, whatever it is that you're looking to accomplish. Try not to focus so much on the end goal that you're not focused in on the grind and things that you're doing, because that's where you're going to find everything you need to be successful in the end, right? It's the habits, it's the work ethic, it's the things that you learn. Embrace that. Embrace learning these things. Embrace the failure in it, and because that's man, and I promise it'll be a small rant, but one of the things that I really wish I knew earlier in my life is that failure is not a bad thing. And you've probably heard it a million times or a dozen times about it, but it's not. We're trained as we come up in school to fear this failure. Oh, I got an F on this or this or that or whatever. I failed. And it's looked at as this negative thing. But that's how you learn, right? Because now you know what it is that you did wrong. And so now you can start applying things to go fix it. And so wherever you are in your process, whatever you're looking at doing right now, embrace those failures. Fail quick, learn from them, and then get better, and then iterate, and then pick yourself back up and keep going. So that's it for tonight. Super short, super sweet. We'll have another C3 podcast dropping next Wednesday. We have a special guest coming by the pod, because I always got special guests dropping by the pod. But for this week, you got to check out the C3 podcast with Marcus Carey. Man, when I tell you my man dropped some heat, he dropped some gems on that. Definitely check that out. So it's on the YouTube page. You can go see it. We talk about how to develop what's your superpower, right? Marcus tells us what his superpower is. What's your superpower? So go check that out. Like I always say, to the next cocktail, to the next conversation, y'all stay safe out there.